Hey all, so this is my first game recording. I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna play the Banner Saga. You can see on the screen that it says resume. I've played probably half an hour to 45 minutes into this, and then it occurred to me that, I just got a good job, I've got some money, I should record this because I've always wanted to do that, and it seemed like a great game for it. So I'm just gonna start over, I'm gonna replay that little starting bit and so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna try and do pretty much exactly what I did before, which is probably imperfect as far as a gameplay goes, but that's kind of what I like about these sorts of things. Is like the thing when you're a kid and you go home and you play the game and you go back to school and you and your friends all talk about the game and you're like, yeah, I played and like this happened and blah blah blah, and your friends like, well, I did this and this happened, and it's like comparing, and you each share your unique experiences, and I like that. I played XCOM 1 on Iron Man mode a couple years ago, and I wish I had been able to record that because I had a really interesting playthrough, and there were some things that happened that I thought were really cool, and I wish I could share. Something I like to do that I don't think you can do in this game, but I like to name party members after like my real life friends, and then there's a little more investment in what you're playing, and you get to see what happens to them, and that's always interesting. So in the future, I'll probably be playing some games where that's a thing that can happen, and get to see how that goes. But for now, we're going to start with the Banner Saga, so I'm going to start a new game. I'm going to try not to talk over cinematics and stuff, but here we go. The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survived through a tenuous alliance, driving black destroyers called Dredge deep into the northern wastes. Now is an era of growth and trade. Life goes on. Only one thing has stopped: the sun.
Að sjá dreggjana á ferli meðal vor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
Komið í höfnina miklu! Skýst ég leyfa oss að syngja! þér hlut að máli þessu.
You've arrived just in time. The chieftain in red and his men are now looking at a tougher fight than they bargained for. So this whole battle thing, I've played through this one, and it's kind of the tutorial level. So we'll be seeing a bit of like how to play the game. And honestly, I'm still learning. Like I said, I only played half an hour or so into this, so I won't claim that I'm gonna really know what I'm doing, but see how it goes. So in a lot of ways, combat kind of works like Fire Emblem, where you get to move and then attack, kind of like any tactics game. But it's got some cool depth to it. So yeah, like right now we're controlling these giant guys, so like for anyone who's played D&D, they're large size, they take up more tiles, which is useful for strategy. You can use them to block things and stuff like that. So yeah, it's basically telling us what to do for these first few turns, just to teach us things. So it's movement, walk up, and then you smack a guy. So how this works is all characters basically have like their blue stat, their red stat, and this little yellow stat. And the blue and the red ones are the primary stats. So basically the red one is your hit points and your strength, and they're basically the same thing. So if your red gets to 0, you're dead, but it also that's how much you're gonna hit for. So it's kind of interesting. The weaker you get in hit points, the weaker you hit. And then the blue stats basically it's your armor, it's your damage reduction. So this giant character, he hits for kind of a large amount. So just making up numbers. Actually click this thing. So he's got 9 health here, or 9 strength. So he's gonna attack this guy, and the 4 armor here is gonna mitigate that, so it'll be 5 damage. But this guy's got 5 HP, so it's gonna straight up kill him. So that's what we'll do, and we'll get to the yellow stat later. Oh, and yeah, it's pretty much telling us exactly what I did. So when you attack, you can choose to attack the person's health or their armor. So it's definitely some strategy there. And then you get renowns for killing dudes. So he's down. Each time you make a kill, your renown grows, which is used later to improve your characters. After taking action, your turn ends, and next up is the enemy. And basically it always alternates between ally and enemy. If there's 12 enemies and 3 allies, it's still going to alternate back and forth. It's not like a D&D turn order where everyone rolls their thing and everyone goes once a turn. That said, and it'll show us this soon, but when you get down to one dude on one side, it kind of changes the rules a bit. So this is kind of the other side of this. Despite being at full strength, the chieftain will do little damage against your shield bearers, high armor being the blue stat here. So 1 damage. And now it's this guy's turn. And so each of the characters, as far as I can tell, kind of has a class that they have, which kind of determines some sort of active ability trait thing, and also a unique passive sort of thing. And it's kind of like the combo of those two that kind of differentiate character to character a bit. So you can, this guy's class is Warhawk, and maybe there's another Warhawk somewhere, but it's got a different passive, and so they can work a little differently, stuff like that. So now it's your Warhawk's turn. He appears to be out of range of these enemies, but all characters can use willpower, which is the yellow stat, handily identified with yellow text, to boost their actions. Willpower is a limited resource, so use it wisely. So willpower is basically a way to like, I'm gonna do something awesome that I shouldn't normally be able to do, but it's a little limited. So like this example here is like, yeah, you can move on these yellow gold tiles at the cost of like 1 willpower per like 1 row, 2 rows, so it's 2 willpower. But he's got 8, so it's all good. So then there's, like I was saying, each character has an ability, and then they all have those basic attacks. So it's going to have us use an ability, which always shown in purple. So that's what's a little unique for each character. So this guy's is Tempest, which is like a cleave or a whirlwind sort of thing. So clicking on your character's tile will bring up all his combat options, and then the purple one is Tempest. And you can see down here, it kind of shows you the selected person's stats, and the kind of yellow beige text here is their more passive ability, where this guy's is heavy impact. Enemies adjacent to the target also take 1 strength damage, which is the red one again. And then their active ability, which is this guy's Tempest, normal strength damage to 2 adjacent enemies starting from target and going clockwise. So there's a little, tactical positioning to consider. So clockwise being this way. So we're gonna click that, and we're gonna click this dude here. Clearly they were not made to blitz through that. And trust me, combat is not it's not this easy to win in like any other battle but this one. So that made quick work of the chieftain's bodyguards. When there is only 1 enemy left, players enter pillage mode. This is what I was talking about earlier, where when there's 1 left, it kind of changes the rules. During pillage, each character moves in order, and there are no more guaranteed turns. Check the initiative to see how the order has changed. Your allies now get to move twice in a row. So it's more like it reverts to a traditional D&D turn order, initiative order, if you've done that. So, yeah, hooray. If your character does not move on his turn, he can rest and regain 1 willpower. So that's like how you regain that stat right there. So that's what the chieftain's doing, because it's a tutorial battle, wants to make it super easy on us. Looks like the chieftain is in some trouble. Your shield banger won't be able to finish the job with a normal attack, but willpower can be used to boost your damage. Click the chieftain's tile to attack. So once again, there's multiple ways to use your yellow willpower stat. So to do that, you click the thing and it brings up this little starburst little thing, and you click that and it's like, I'm gonna use 1, and that boosts your attack by 1 per starburst you click. And there's stats that we'll get into later that can kind of determine how many like bonus starburst damage things or whatever you can use. Anyways, let's do that. And tutorial battle. Victory. Hooray. Alright.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and var slaughter each other, even before the threats arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more threats to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. 12 families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his last. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I'm in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Chapter 1, Only the Sun Has Stopped. So, you're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eric, steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? So, as you can see, you get to choose how you reply in these conversation trees, and well, I've only played like half an hour, 45 minutes into this. From what I understand, conversation choices you make affect the story pretty heavily. And unlike, say, Mass Effect, where I love that game, it's got some good conversation stuff and there's options. Generally in Mass Effect you can kind of just choose all the options. You just like go around the clock and you get to hear all the things, and then you choose the obvious two that are going to actually push the conversation forward. Here it's rarely like that. I'm not going to be able to just I'll choose one and that's what it is. So Ubin, isn't it? It is. So I don't know, when I'm starting out these games I'm generally pretty agreeable, and hard to tell what's a good idea, so I guess I'm kind of agreeable in real life too, so that's what we're gonna go with for now. Plus this guy just looks kind of old and tired and just like struggling to care kind of right now. So yep, it is. The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. Well, my sarcastic sense of humor wants me to go with, I didn't exactly agree, but this still seems pretty sarcastic to me too, so we'll go with, seems a bit chaotic around here, Eric. It's been worse. We've got a lot of irons in the fire. What does he want exactly? Skulfings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure that they stay down. Was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. So this is kind of the first glimpse of the town screen, and there's only one option at the moment because it's still kind of in tutorial mode, but I guess I've been to like 2 towns now, and generally there's a few things to click on, and I'm not even sure I got all the way through the tutorial section of the game, but I was given a little more freedom a little later on, and there's different things you can do to test out your guys. Eventually you're able to level up and customize your heroes and your party members and do other stuff with gear and inventory and go talk to various people around town, and this is the market, so there's like a shop you can buy gear at, or there's just a bunch of things, and I probably haven't even seen most of them yet, so I don't really know. But this is kind of the travel screen. As you can see, there's the options menu. Hooray, exciting. And then this shows your renown, which is you get at the end of you get through combat, and renown it's kind of interesting as far as I can tell. It's like it's a communal resource, sort of like it's not stuck specifically to like a hero that gets it, but like heroes get experience for getting kills, so and then to upgrade, to like level up or upgrade abilities and stuff, or even to like buy provisions and stuff like that, you spend renown. So it's a communal resource, and so it's kind of interesting. I'm still kind of figuring it out. And then it says great morale. I honestly haven't experienced anything where I don't really know what that does yet. I assume it affects how how well your people do, and there's like, once again, clansmen, fighters, and Varl. The Varl I know are like the giants that so far we've been playing as, and not really sure what all this is about. I assume you kind of make some army, and then this is your days of supplies, so this is how long you can go before you starve to death or something. But yeah, it's interesting. It seems like one of those games where characters' death is permanent, and seems likely that you could probably just lose the game, and that's a valid option, which I personally think is cool. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling a little bit, but I just trying to explain things and I don't know, share my thoughts. I think it's pretty cool. I will say I love this art style. It's very much like a storybook. I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, on to the market. So Eric says, "Let me handle this." You meander through rows of open-faced houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Hod, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot? The Skulfing's chieftain bled out about an hour ago, Hod. So when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's going to try and kill you this time. Hod, I don't talk to, they don't talk to me. So, like I said, I've played through this a bit before, so I'm trying to do the same options I chose before, whether they were good choices or bad choices, and I don't know, this seems like this guy's kind of like the fixer or like knows the stuff going on in this city, so I'm just gonna let him talk. I'm not gonna say anything. Eric overturns his flimsy table, scattering Hod's assortment of junk across the ground. Gods, Eric, laying it on a bit heavy, don't you think? Where are the Skelfings? Noblemen up by the east wall, but that was months ago, last I know. Hod skulks away with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel. Disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Gunulf, are we done here? I think this is like the big two-handed sword dude that was just like a dervish and just destroyed people. Gunulf, were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? No, just bought them while you were walking around. Why? They look good, I guess. Makes me think of Link a little bit from Zelda. I'm glad you care. Gunulf goes off to look at more stalls. Eric, that man of yours seems unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Hod, but he used to be Skulfing. If they're licking their wounds, they've probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a mead hall? Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm gonna go find him. I'll meet you there. Shouldn't we have an approach of some sort? I feel like that's what we should go for. Like, seems like, you know, just breaking down the door might not be like the best of ideas, but, you know, what do I know? What a luxury. Come on, you've already mopped up worse today. I mean, that's true, and they're giants. They kind of kick ass. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. So I think Ubin and his giants are some sort of mercenaries or something. They seem to be kind of traveling and working for hire or something. I'm not entirely sure. I'll remind him. Right, so the mead house, the nobleman. You arrive in front of what must be the nobleman. A few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? You're walking through the front door? I mean, I guess I could say I'd rather sit this one out, but I feel like kind of gotta earn my pay. I'm getting like double pay or something now. So, I don't know, it still seems dumb walking through the front door. I ran to a meat house, says Volgrad. Yeah, Volgard, sorry. I'll be surprised if they can stand up straight right now. Okay, here we go. I guess he's got a point. Volgard boots the front door open. It's so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of a table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken Skalfings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. Alright, so click a unit to deploy them into any of the blue tiles. When all units are satisfactorily deployed, click the ready button to start the battle. So it's kind of like some other tactics games where you can kind of choose how you want to position things and set things up beforehand, and then start the battle, which is always neat. What's this button do? Oh, that's just the menu. Alright, so let's just check out these dudes. So this dude that just joined us, what's this? Yeah, okay, that's Eric, the guy we've been talking to. So he's got light step, so he can move through allies, so that's nice. And then he's got an active thing called rally, gives 2 willpower to an ally at any range, which is the L stack. So that'll be good for making these guys do crazy stuff that they probably shouldn't be able to do a lot of. So we've done this guy before, heavy impact, adjacent enemy, so he's like the like DPS warrior, like barbarian, just like give him a tree trunk and let him swing it around. So he's got the cleave thing, got a ton of strength too. So he's very much like heavy hitter, but not like the biggest defense. This guy's pretty balanced, and it seems like this guy's, well, let's just go in order. So shield banger, is that his name? That's such a stupid name. Maybe he's just like a red shirt that he doesn't even have a name. Alright, so, okay, yeah, he doesn't even have like a big activatable thing, so maybe he is a red shirt. Return the favor, getting hit triggers a counterattack for 1 armor damage, armor being the blue stat. And then Volgard, some sort of also tank guy. Shield wall adds 1 armor to allies and himself while adjacent to the ally. That's pretty cool. And then Stone Wall blocks 3 damage per hit for 1 round, which is an activatable. So that's pretty cool. So, alright. What do I have to do? Click unit. Oh, and then. So I want to stick him between these two because he's going to give everyone armor, and these 2 are my heavy hitters. And I'm going to move this guy back on. Yeah. I don't really want to be like surrounded by these dudes, so I'm kind of thinking like a hold the line sort of strategy. Maybe chill out here. I don't know why the Ubin just like chills in the back. Maybe he's just like the financier or something. So we're gonna, I don't know, we'll do that. Let's see what these guys will show us how far they can move. No. Alright, well whatever. We're gonna, this is roughly how I had it set up last time. Maybe I'll move these guys up for 1 so that they can't like get around behind this table, because as far as I can tell you can't move diagonally. Maybe there's like some special ability for someone, but not normally. You can't attack diagonally normally either. Alright, so we're gonna click red. Battle! So, let's see here. Options are pressed, attack, stonewall, move. So here's his stats down here. And this is supposedly their maximums on thing. So I think he's got 2 over his maximum here because he's adjacent to 2 allies from his shield wall thing. I think that's how that works. And then he's 2 over his his willpower max, which I'm not sure why, but I'll take it. So I don't think there's any point in resting for willpower. So we're just gonna do that. I don't think anyone can get to me yet, but we'll find out. What's with these guys? Oh, they all get shield wall? Yeah, okay. So they can do like a phalanx almost, like I should want to split them up, I guess. So, oh, what is this run through thing? So runs through 2 spaces, 2 break to each unit in the way, plus normal strength damage to target. 2 break to, I think that means breaks armor. So that's neat, I guess. These guys are weak ultimately compared to these guys, but alright, what's your deal? So rally, and actually, yeah, okay, you're melee. So they're all melee guys on my side. I think everyone in this battle is melee, so I'll just do that because seems like the frailest dude here, and I'm not gonna run him into the wall. So I'm gonna move him up 1, and then what's this thing again? Oh yeah, half of that's right. Alright, so yep, I'll do that, so turn. And then this guy's turn. Oh, he's got a ball. I could go there and just what's this strength again? 15. Oh, and I could boost the damage probably. And then these guys don't have a lot of well, when I played this last time, I kind of did this hold the line thing, so I'm gonna do that just so we have the the same consistency, I guess. So let's just rest. What's your deal? You're gonna stonewall again. All right, dudes, just keep moving forward. Rally. So initially I thought these unique abilities cost like something, but as far as I can, I don't know, but let's see. So he's got 6 action right now, and we're gonna do that. Oh, it does cost, okay, cost 1 willpower. Live and learn. Good to know. Slightly from what I did before, but what's your do 3 damage? Man, I'm getting messages. What's it say? Hold on 1 second, I'm gonna check this out.